Hi there YouTube, Sad Womble here. I wanted to talk today about what I would call red pill fatigue. This is something I'm currently suffering from a little bit, and it's quite simply the absorption of so many MRA videos that basically tell the same story. That basically feminism is destroying society, that it really starts to get you down. I tend to do a lot of angry videos. Me, really? Surely not. But I do absorb. I throw myself heavily into the manosphere. I search out as many MGTOW videos as I can, as many MRA videos and stories as I can, because I want to keep up on the current events. I listen to as many as I can, and I watch as many as I can, and I comment on quite a few, just sort of bouncing onto their channels and saying stuff. But you do see the same stories over and over and over and over again. You hear the same stories about women using men, having them as simps, having them as white knights, using them, abusing them, throwing them to the dogs, throwing them out, tricking them for paternity, women not being on the pill when they said they were, doing them for child support, claiming they're rape apologists, claiming they're rapes, ruining their lives at college, ruining their lives generally, screaming at them, shouting at them, throwing them out of their own home, denying them access to their own kids. The list goes on and on and on. And then you get the crazy things like banning the word bossy and other ridiculous things that really show that women can't cope with anything that doesn't infantilize them. And just occasionally, I've started a number of videos, and I've ended up just turning the microphone off again, just because I haven't been able to summon up the will to say it. No doubt all of those videos will surface again at some point, but sometimes it just overwhelms. I mean, it's good to know that you're part of a community. It's good to know that. I mean, when I joined the MGTOW movement, I discovered it. I'd had a particularly messy breakup. It had all gone a bit wrong, as you can imagine. I'd managed to hold on to what was duly mine by the skin of my teeth. Fortunately, I'm a lot more fortunate than a number of people I know. I also then bounced into a totally platonic friendship. Yes, it really was, with a girl, and I'll probably do a video on this. It was very much she claimed to be a man-hater from the get-go. But that was fine because we shared interests, and I wanted to help her with her interests. And she was always perfectly okay with me. But there were telltale signs that all was not well. I mean, I considered that she was different with me, not with other. Other men were different, and she treated me better. It didn't end well, as you can probably imagine. I'll probably do a video on that at some point. But I then ended up watching and listening to a number of MGTOW videos or men's rights videos explaining, women do this, women do that, women do the other. And that's how I found it. I think I typed in, why are women so nasty? And I discovered the world of MGTOW from that. And I've done a load of videos of varying quality. Hopefully I'm getting better these days. But it was I've just hit a bit of a moment. It's good to know that it's good to know that you're not wrong, really, because of course because society as a whole is blue pill statistically, you do feel that I certainly felt that I was a voice in the wilderness and a lone voice, and it's turned out not to be the case because there's an awful lot of us out there, which is good, because the more men do these videos. Pointing out the ridiculousness of feminism and the ridiculousness of family court and the ridiculousness of society. It can only do good, because there is a groundswell of people at the moment moaning. I love it when people moaning that these sorts of videos that you're listening to now, and all the MGTOW videos, etc., they're all over the internet, and there's a really good reason for that. It's because there's an awful lot of it about. We as a sex and as a species have allowed women to get on with this for so long, basically because, we like to get laid. And I've, had my fair share, and it was nice at the time. But once you've taken that red pill, you cannot look at a female the same way ever again. You start to see the tells. It'd be great for poker. You start to see the tells. You start to see the little moves, the touches, the expressions, the tilts of their head, the look in the eyes, the way they talk, the way they walk. You start to see it. And once you see it, like any actor, once you see it's fake, you can't take them seriously. Once you recognise they're playing a character, suddenly all belief in them is lost. But as I say, just occasionally, and I'm going through one of those at the moment, just occasionally you get overwhelmed. I'm currently overwhelmed with the sheer volume of it, which I say is not a reason and criticism for anyone to stop doing it. Please make more. Please, I reckon everyone who listens to this, and because that's how they genuinely feel about, the world, if they visited my channel, or they visited Barbarosa's channel, or Stir Dusk's channel, or Girls' Rights Watts channel, or any of the excellent channels that are out there. Voice for Men's got a great list. It's got a great number of news articles. It's got a great list at the bottom. Sandman as well. He's a relative newcomer, but he's got an awesome list. Raging Golden Eagle. Some people are more serious than others. Some of them are more light-hearted than others. But everyone has the same basic story and the same basic idea, which is just to point out the pomposity. That's a good test for a pop filter on a microphone. To point out the pomposity of feminism. But just sometimes it can get overwhelming. I'm proof of that, and I'm sure there are men out there who have taken the red pill, and much like Cypher in the Matrix, have wished they could go back. But I'm afraid, just like the Matrix, once you've taken the red pill, there is no going back. In the longer term, life is better. Life is good. Short term, it can really suck. But longer term, it is better because you get your own freedom, you get your own space, you get full self-determinism without having to worry about other people. You become a rounder, more fully fledged human being, unfettered and unheld back, if that's a proper phrase, by the ridiculousness of women and their ridiculous demands. So in the long run and on the whole, the red pill is totally the right thing, and something I would recommend every man takes. But just occasionally, and it's not a crime, just occasionally there's a little flicker going, I wish I was the same as everybody else. I wish I was still plugged into the Matrix. And I wish I'd never realised. But the moment passes, and you realise, no, but actually, hard and tough and annoying and stressful though the struggle is, it's worth it. Because in time, more people will be woken up, and we will win. Because feminism, like the Matrix, cannot last forever.